Channel, the cringiest show on the internet. I set up an anonymous forum where people could send me their most embarrassing life stories. These are the most embarrassing stories you've ever heard. You're gonna cringe or your money back. Let's do it now. But like and subscribe now. Let's get to cringing, shall we?
When I was a freshman in high school, there was a day my English teacher wasn't at school. Needless to say, my friends and I went through his stuff, and we found a Rust drive.
Okay, that's not needless to say. What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, we've all done that, right? Your teacher's not at school for one day, and we all steal his USB drive and find out what he's hiding, right? It's a weird behavior, but go on. What was on it? Now you have to say.
I took home the drive, and then had a
Oh my
moment
God.
of brilliance. What if I uploaded porn to it, and told everyone that it was on there?
You could ruin his life and career, is what you could do.
The next day when I got to school, I told everyone that. When I plugged it into my computer,
way.
there was hentai on it. My friends started to talk and joke about it really loud, and our chemistry teacher heard us and called us out into the hall. We got sent to the office, and the truth came.
That the truth in parentheses that the kid lied, by the way. That's what the truth is.
But only a few people heard about it. Everyone else still believed the lie.
Dude.
I was suspended 3 days, and when I got back, all the guys treated me like I was a hero, and all the girls were disgusted by me. My girlfriend was so mad, and she dumped me soon after, because of what happened.
I would too. You psychopath. That's a good thing. I hope you learned your lesson. That's not normal behavior. The fact that you submitted this and said, you know, like everybody does, that's kind of a red flag. I don't think you learned anything from this little excursion. You should get out of here, man. I think it's awful that, like, more people didn't hear about the second half of the story, dude. That's scary. That's Crime Confessional, yeah. I can't wait for Crime Confessional. When we run out of cringe and we gotta start doing, like, police reports. Oh, baby.
When I was younger, I was obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh! I didn't have many chances to play with friends, but I loved collecting the cards and just looking at them.
Sure.
One day, I get a card. Judge Man. I thought he was so cool looking, despite just being a generic whatever of a card.
Okay.
I was at school, and I had a tendency to force myself to throw up, get out early. So much so that my teacher no longer accepted that as an excuse to let me go to the nurse.
That's a ballsy teacher, man. That's a really fucked up teacher thing to do. Like, to be the teacher and be like, you're faking it. Like, you have a stomach bug and they just call you on it. Also, that is quite a hard pivot. I think you probably could have led with the vomit thing, but okay. Judge Man for reference. Oh, there he is. Very cool. How is he gonna factor into this?
I really wanted to go home and look at my Judge Man card. I began to fake being lightheaded and dizzy. I even faked fainting.
Wait, you wanted
My
to
acting
look at
skills
it?
were perhaps a bit too much, as not only did they believe me, but they called an ambulance for me.
Dude, okay, so this chatter must be old. Like, they liked Yu-Gi-Oh! At a time, and they also didn't have a phone. Like, they couldn't just Google images like Judge Man and get your fix, right?
I was rushed to the where they did several tests on me, while I continued to lie and fake some vague illness. It was about the time they put me through MRI that I began to regret my decision.
An MRI?
Instead of leaving school early, I got home at 9 p.m. I no longer wanted to look at Judge Man when I got home.
Well, maybe just a peek.
It wasn't even a real Judge Man card.
No way.
It was a bootleg I got from a corner store.
Well, I guess who cares if you're a child?
The real Judge Man costs about 38 cents.
Okay.
My little act costed my mom somewhere about $2,000.
All right, this kid keeps throwing up, and he always says his ass is dizzy. Let's go look at his brain. Just, they get the scan back. It's just Judge Man in there. Just like in a little cloud bubble like a sim. His ass is thinking about Judge Man again. Dr. House episode. Yeah, this kid keeps throwing up, and he's dizzy and lightheaded all the time. Does he play Yu-Gi-Oh? You've done it again, doctor.
When I was like 9 or 10, my family had a Wii in our basement.
Hell
that
yeah.
I would play all the time. I became obsessed with certain games to the point where my youthful body would naturally wake up at like 3 a.m. So I could go downstairs and play my Wii until 6 a.m. and then go back to sleep before anyone.
Yeah, I did that with NFL Blitz for some reason. I would wake up at 5 a.m. to play NFL Blitz. That game didn't even have a battle pass, but I would play it before school. I don't know why. I just knew it had to be returned to Blockbuster the next day, and I needed to play NFL Blitz.
One of the games I would play late at night was Mario Sports Mix.
Sure, okay.
Anyone who has ever played a video game knows that video games have final bosses.
True.
What you might not know is that Mario Sports Mix
I
final
did know
boss is
that,
a horrifying Final Fantasy.
Did you get very scared? Oh, I forgot to turn these off.
So as I was playing through the different sports and tournaments at 4 a.m. in my dark basement, I get jump scared
Yeah,
by
that's
this
scary,
fucking
man.
monster appearing out of nowhere in my Mario Sports game.
Yeah, I wonder how many kids are, like, traumatized by the Odyssey Dragon. Like, I think about that. Like, I don't know if they made it, like, not scary enough for children, but that seems a little crazy, right?
I got so scared that I couldn't sleep with the lights off until high
Okay,
school.
that's a little...
Because all I could see is his meteor attack and his giant teeth and roar.
You know what? I'm going to assume it was circumstances. It was the fact that you saw it 4 a.m. late at night. I get it. I get it. High school feels a little late, but... Coney, can you show us? Here's the behemoth. I'll just see if I can click it here, and maybe it'll pop up. Grrr! So this is the end boss in Mario Sports Mix. It's just a big demon enemy guy from Final Fantasy. I don't know why he's at the end of a sports game, but Final Fantasy or Square loves doing that stuff. I'm fascinated by everybody's first, like, scary memory. I've talked about this a lot in my chat, but mine were the George Powell Puppetoons. And I'm fascinated by this, like, imprinting of what is the first thing you saw that your kid brain was like, oh, fuck. And it's like, it's not scary, right? It's made to be for you, like the AC killing himself in the Brave Little Toaster. That's supposed to be for kids, right?
Back in high school, one of my friends used to have parties at his cabin home because it was in a really cool area surrounded by a bunch of forest.
I want a cabin home so bad, bro. Can I come to the party? I want to go to your friend's party. That's so cool. I want to go to the cabin party.
On Halloween, we were having a small get-together of around 8 people, and being bored from party games and movies.
Yeah.
Someone had the bright idea to venture into the woods through one of the dirt trails in his neighborhood.
Did he die? That guy got murdered and posted to a tree. I can't. This is just the cabin in the woods person.
When we get there, we stumble upon a couple of people walking out of the forest who are clearly high out of their mind.
Oh, skinwalkers.
They ask us,
right.
Are you guys with Connor? We tell them we're not, but for some reason I just thought the idea of this mysterious Connor figure was the funniest thing in the world.
Sure.
So when we walk into the forest, I'd periodically yell, Connor. Or Connor, where are you? And my friends all think it's a little bit funny, but of course it gets stale quickly.
Right.
Eventually, after walking for like 8 minutes, we reach a campfire near a lake at the end of trail, and I'm still doing my Connor bit.
Right, very
funny. There are a couple of
Good
other
one.
people hanging out at some picnic tables next to the lake in our group, and their group lock eyes.
Right.
One of the guys walks towards us, and as a joke I say something like, "Are you Connor?"
This guy's still doing the
Then
Connor
with the
thing.
most perfect comedic timing, another guy wearing a camouflage hoodie comes up from behind him who we did not see originally, and I want you to take a wild guess who it was.
Yo! Is that my boy? I thought it was going to end up like Connor's been missing for like a week. We haven't found Connor. We've been looking for him in the woods.
He definitely heard my incessant yelling, because he comes in guns blazing shouting, "You guys got a fucking problem?"
Oh no!
And me being...
Connor is 6'3" and 280 pounds!
All my friends were scared shitless, because apparently the guy had been reaching into his hoodie pocket for what looked like a knife.
Oh.
People are scurrying behind others and cowering in fear because
Jesus
they are scared
Christ,
of what
man.
this stoned-ass man in the woods might
This
do
is
to a
escalating
bunch
quickly.
of 16-year-olds. We're all just kinda standing there for a few seconds, most of my friends fearing they might get stabbed, until one of the people from my group steps in and de-escalates the situation.
Sure.
We all go our separate ways, but now everyone is silently pissed at me, obviously, because I could have gotten them all killed. But I still have the shit-eating grin on my face, since I felt like I trolled that guy hilariously.
Good one, man. You were looking for him in the woods, and then you found him, and you were yelling his name. Classic Connor bit. I would have yelled it one more time. You know, one more time at the top of your legs, and then book it. Start sprinting. Everybody in your group is just going to throw you back to that guy. You might die.
When we got back to the car, everyone started tearing into me. And now
That's
whenever
funny.
I'm around my friends with other people, they always tell that story and frame it as the time Op almost got us killed in the forest on Halloween.
That's a good story. Did they fuck up a drug buy? Ooh. Well, it sounds like they were in the woods for something, man. Do you think they were meeting up in the woods and, like, the first guys were trying to meet up with him to maybe do some, you know, Exchange some paraphernalia. Had the shit in his pocket, not a knife. I was gonna say, he's got some drugs in there, right? If they're fucking around with that. But maybe it's just weed. Maybe people just doing a weed in the woods on Halloween, as you do, right? Who hasn't partaken in some of the devil's lettuce? I haven't, but that's because I don't partake. I'm a square.
This cringe tale is to do with a customer interaction I had at my job.
Okay.
I work in a high-end lingerie and adult toy product store and have large breasts.
Okay.
Sadly, that last piece of information is important.
Okay, all right, let's keep it going. Why is that important information? Did you get harassed? Probably, right? Were you the cringe person here? That's what I'm curious about.
It was dead. So my workmate and I were just chatting and sitting around.
By the way, it said in parentheses because it never gets read. We're going to call her friend V.
At like 9 or so, a guy walks in making some jokes about needing stuff for all the girls he's seeing. We laugh along with him, but then he starts asking real questions about the toys. Naturally, I get up to do my job and explain them.
Right. At
this time, his mates come in to see what he's doing and also ask questions. There's 4 of them in total.
Is that a group activity? I feel like that's something you do by yourself. Were we loitering in the toy shop? This isn't Spencer's, is it? This is like an adult toy, high-end lingerie and adult toy. Okay. Because, like, if you're in the back of a Spencer's, I get, like, kids loitering at the mall, but not if it's, like, a real store you go to.
So I'm standing at the toy wall, explaining the function of one in particular, when out of nowhere the guy asks me, are they natural?
Dude.
He must have been talking about the insanely bright pink toy that I can only describe looking like an upside-down amogus that I'm holding. I wish I could attach a photo so you could see.
I would love to see the upside-down amogus.
I just stared at him confused.
I would like. I'm kind of curious. I feel like if I pull that from Google, it will not have helpful results. Crazy, I know exactly what it is. What?
After a few seconds, he repeats his question, except this time he clarifies. He points straight at my boobs. I was fucking stunned, and the only thing going through my mind was medical-grade silicone, because that's what the toy was made of. And I'm glad I did not say it.
Clinical answer.
V, a 6-feet-tall gal, immediately steps between me and him, says do not speak to her like that, get out of my store. They laugh, but V fully stonewalls them, this time saying, I'm serious, get the fuck out. One of the guy's mates, clearly not prepared for what's happening, decides a compliment for V will defuse the situation.
I know what she needs. She needs to be harassed too. She must be jealous. Stand back, fellas. First off, happy International Women's Month.
Oh no, don't worry. Your boobs are nice too. It's fine, they're not as big as hers.
Yeah.
I'm still blue screening at the wall while V makes them leave, but they decided to hang around close enough to the front of the shop for V to hear and know they hadn't properly left. So V grabs one of the riding crops we sell off the wall with straight up murderous intent, storms to the front of the shop and threatens them. They better not come back or she'll use it.
I feel like if you're in an apocalypse situation, there are worse places than you could be than a sex toy shop. Yeah, like riding crops and paddles and shit. Like, Frank West would kind of go crazy in there. I mean, obviously, you'd rather have a gun store, right? But I feel like there's, it couldn't be so bad.
When she came back in, we looked at each other, took in what just happened, and laughed so really hard our stomachs hurt. Such a shit show.
That's gotta happen a lot at a store like that, right? People getting too familiar, right? Because they're, like, embarrassed. There's a lot of nervous energy. Some people don't want to, like... I mean, if they come in with a group, too, that's a little, Is V single? Oh, here we go. Okay. This thing was back in May of last year, man. I don't think she's here anymore. Big shoot your shot energy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you ever hit at somebody at the sex toy shop. Maybe a Starbucks that's like the biggest one, right?
It was the end of my sophomore year of high school, and I wanted to buy a new game for summer break.
Okay.
My friend, who we will call Riley, came over one day and gave me some ideas on what to get, and we eventually figured it out. It was a new fighting game at the time that we were both really excited for.
Is it DOA?
And so we decided to head to our local Walmart.
How could this be cringe? What is it?
But before we left my house, an idea strikes me. I had this big jar of change that would track how much is in it and had put loose change in it for years. The game was $40 at the time, and me being full of jest and mischievousness, thought it would be funny if I paid for it all in change, since I just so happened to have enough despite the fact I had enough cash on me.
Dude.
Riley laughed at the idea and said, "Hell yeah, man, let's do it."
That poor
We then head to Walmart, and I see there is only one person at the register of the tech section. This person looked like a college student working for the summer, and seemed like she was ready to get her shift over with.
By the way, this person said they were a sophomore in high school, so they were like 15 or 16. They definitely knew better.
She says the price, and I say, I plan to pay it all in change. Of course, she saw me with this jar as we were walking around, but really didn't know until this moment. That's why I brought it.
Why would you think they were walking around with the change jar? Willful ignorance? Yeah, I think she knew. She knew. She just, if I was her, I would take a break immediately. I smoke now. I gotta go smoke.
Her optimistic smile turned into a concerned stare at both of us, but then labored up a smile to hide the pain.
Yeah.
I then open and give her the jar, and she starts counting. It was only at this point that I realized this is not only going to take a long time, but also she is trying to hide emotional pain, but it was visible.
No.
And regret started
She
to
was
kick in
having
full
a
effect.
bad day.
Riley and I then help her count and track $40 worth of change.
Okay, that's probably illegal, right? I don't think you can help count, like, the change that the person has. That seems like a good way to get some free stuff, right?
Both of us were really guilty and beat red in embarrassment of this dumb idea. But to make it worse, the line started getting longer and people were getting more irate.
These
She
stupid
tried to
teenagers.
call someone up to the other register to help with the congestion, but in doing this she lost count.
Oh,
and for
no.
some reason, we both also lost count.
Dude, you have the cash. At that point, give it up. Oh, wait, that would be more embarrassing. You just pull out two 20s. Actually, I had $40 this whole time.
After 35 minutes of counting, the transaction was complete,
35
and I
minutes?
profusely apologized to this poor cashier for the hell I just put her through. She reassured me that it was okay, but I could tell she was only saying that to
Dude.
put me at ease. Now you might be wondering, what was this game that we did all of this counting for and caused that cashier to quit soon after?
Has to be a good punchline, right? If it's a $40 game, it can't be like a new game. It can't be like a Strive or like a Tekken or like...
It was none other than Jump Force.
Holy shit.
I came up with a really bad
Yeah.
idea and caused a person to quit their job for a game that I would barely play and died in 3 years. 5 years later and I still have that disc, and I cringe in so much pain
Oh,
every
that's
time
funny.
I get reminded of it.
That's good.
I should have just paid in cash and got a better game like Street Fighter or Tekken.
Yeah, I think somebody in chat has a good point, though. 38 minutes to count change for a $40 transaction is not... I think she was probably in the wrong profession. That's not a 3-person job. How many of those were pennies? Ever hear of Coinstar chatter? I don't know about that, man. Coinstar takes your money. They take like 10%. You got to give up $3 for that? I'm keeping me pennies.
In my freshman year of high school, I had my first experience with trying to let a guy down gently.
Ooh.
I fucked it way the hell up.
Dude,
He
how do
admitted
you
his
even approach people now? Like, letting guys down gently is such a scary thing to do because they might be a fucking freak. And as a guy, how do you like be like, "Hey, I'm normal, but I like you. Can we like be normal about this?" And then like if you do it wrong, you might get posted on the internet for other people to make fun of. Oh god. Guys do not have the hardship in this situation. Sure they do. Not as bad obviously, but I sympathize with dudes that don't want to like put themselves out there, right? Group chats? Yeah, exactly. Like, there's fucking it's scary, man. Shit follows you.
He admitted his feelings. I said I'm sorry,
That's on
but I
both
just
sides.
don't feel that way about you. He then asked that I tell him why I didn't feel that way about him.
Ooh.
Panic. I did not know that this was a question that could potentially happen in these kinds of discussions.
Man, this is how do you it's not your type. You're just not my type.
I had not prepared for this question.
Okay, yeah.
He wanted an answer. He grabbed my arm so I couldn't just peace out.
Oh, that's different.
He did this in front of the entire high school band.
Oh my god. Wait.
He asked again, loudly. We are now causing a scene. Panic. I was desperate for anything I could say that would make the situation stop.
It's going to be very hard for me not to be sympathetic with you here. But I think that you submit this story because you probably did something very irrational. Please, what did you do?
I didn't actually have a problem with this guy.
Right? Oh, we're really
And
building
so,
this up.
I said.
Uh-huh.
To this boy and the entire high school band that was watching.
Yeah.
That I was actually an incredibly devout Christian, and that I was forbidden by God to date outsiders.
Not a terrible gambit. The old man upstairs, saving us once again.
What the fuck is wrong with me?
That's not so
Next
bad.
school year he tried to date a Jehovah's Witness, who turned him down for the exact same reason except she was being honest.
Imagine being that guy. Not again! Dude must think God hates him. God put every attractive girl in this school on his righteous path. Wow! How am I supposed to compete with the guy that created the universe? The man who made all of creation. Wow. Okay. I would think I was cursed by a witch. Eventually, you just come to expect it. I would join the congregation. Fuck it. You know what? I'm Christian now. Now what are you going to do? Me too, lady. I happen to hold Jesus in my heart too. What are you going to do about it? Let's go to the ice cream social together and worship him.
In 7th grade, there was a girl who asked me out because she found out I wasn't straight, and we dated for about 6 months.
Okay.
My friend at the time, well, him Caden. Him and I planned to bid for about a month before the end of the school year.
Uh-huh.
So, on the last day of school during lunch, we jumped up onto 2 tables across the cafeteria from each other and screamed each other's names, while I did the hand signs for the Chidori, and he did the charge up for the Razungan, before we ran at each other across the cafeteria.
I don't know what those mean. The Naruto, right? Like the Leaf Village shit? Is that what we're doing? Naruto. Okay. This sounds really cool. Yeah.
We did this hoping that I would impress the girl I was with, and that he would impress other women and his friends.
Oh my god. It is 7th grade. I thought this was like high school. 7th grade is where you got to get this out of your system. It could be worse. Continue on.
As we got closer to each other, I realized we didn't plan the end of it. So we just ran into each other and fell, got yelled at.
Sure.
And then a week later, I caught the girl I was dating cheating on me with Caden.
Caden, no! My brother, no! It worked! Wait, it worked for Caden? The Rasengan worked, but not the Shidori? Really? Who's the bad guy in Naruto? You should be him. Pain? Is it Pain? I've heard that before. Sasuke, right? You should be Sasuke. Your brother betrayed you. Cheating in 7th grade, bro? That's when it'll happen. Yes, absolutely people cheat in 7th grade. People don't know consequences yet. You don't know right from wrong.
Just to set the scene, when I was 7-10, I knew this Hispanic girl named Alejandra, and the backyard had a really steep hill.
This is an excellent intro. We have our subject, and we have something that will definitely come into play later. I like that.
So one time we were playing, and I don't remember how, but somehow we had a sudden brilliant idea. What if one of us got in a wheelbarrow and went down?
Oh my god.
You can guess what happens next.
Right.
I pushed her down that hill.
Yeah.
It still haunts me to this day.
This chatter respects our
She
time.
flew down so fast it happened in seconds, flying into the side of the house at Mach 3, bursting into tears.
Something about the side of the house is funny to me. I don't know. I thought she would, like, fall out, but like, you didn't plan for that? You didn't plan for it to hit the side of the house? Did you not? Did she crash through the house?
What did I do, you may ask? Ran down the hill as fast as I could. Right past her and all the way back home.
This is an extremely funny visual. She slammed into the side of the house, starts bursting and crying, and you just run right through her and just run home. Oh, that's really funny. This is a good writer.
I know, I
That's
still
awesome.
feel bad, okay?
That's very
At
funny.
least she wasn't too hurt, believe it or not.
Oh, that's funny.
After a while, they somehow let me come back.
Oh, that's
Being the
good.
genius I was after, they told me she wasn't home. I wandered into their backyard, found a pocket knife and a piece of foam.
What?
So I just started stabbing the shit out of it as you
What
do.
the fuck? In the
Her father
backyard?
heard noises, so he slowly opened the curtain, stared at me for a good 10 seconds, and wordlessly, slowly closed the curtain. They must think I'm a psychopath.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Moral of the story, children can be dumb and a little demented.
I would send you home. Alejandra, sweetie, you can't play with chatter. I don't know how I'm going to react the first time my kid gets hurt with another kid, like, playing. Because, like, usually if it's a small thing, it's whatever. But, like, I won't be mad at the kid. Kids play whatever. But, like, when do you escalate a situation? When do I have to call the parent, right? When do I have to... Crime confessional starting up early, bro. I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Back when I was 16 or so, I had set up my computer to be projected onto the home TV so our family could play Jackbox together.
Porn. It's a porn story. First sentence. Hentai, maybe. Something worse? Lock it in.
After we were done, I asked my sister to unplug the Steam Link. I used to do that.
Hooney Pop!
She didn't unplug it. I'm not sure why I took her at her word. I was back in my room, never checked the home TV, and did what any 16-year-old would do all alone in their room with a computer.
Right.
In the middle of the sesh, my dad knocked on my door, informed me that the Steam Link was still plugged in, and told me in a very disappointed voice, "You shouldn't be on those websites."
What website were you on? If you were just on, like, Pornhub, like, come on, man. But for Affinity, it was just actually on Twitch. I think that would be worse for me. If my son is 16 and he's looking at, like, Twitch cam stuff instead of like a real site, son, dude, those ladies don't like you. No, she's writing your name on the board. No, man, she's in the hot tub. No, man, you know, like, the better stuff is free. There's no personal connection here, son. Come on. Son, don't leave proof. And now your name's on the whiteboard. You paid $10 to be identified. Come on, son.
Years ago, I used to work at a construction job.
Yeah?
During breaks, also being an artist, I would sketch stuff. And one day when I was about to head to work, I noticed my sketchbook was gone from my bag.
Okay.
Before this next part, you need to know I'm that kind of furry artist, and at the time I did commissions at the side.
Right. Okay. That kind, huh? Is this a repeat story before we go too deep in? I think I remember, like an artist, a furry artist on a bus. Am I making that up? There's a similar one? Okay, let's keep it up. Let's see.
So when the realization struck me where my sketchbook with all the sketches of those could be,
Right.
I already wanted to perish on the spot. Yes, in the break room, and my co-workers took a nice long
Very
look
dramatic.
through all the you can imagine what
Oh,
kind of weirdo
no.
things in it, even asking me about it.
Oh, asking... Is asking you about it better or worse? Because then you could... No, I guess it's worse. Part of me feels like you could, like, smooth it out and be like, yeah, man, I don't know. I make a lot of money doing this. I'm just an artist. Whatever these guys are into. Like, you could play it off, right? And then draw them, like, something really cool that they would like. Like a drag race car or something. Be like, look, I'm a really good artist. It's just this pays the bills. You could find a way.
The good part of the story is that they took it with mostly humor and some odd looks at worst. But the mortified feeling I had that day and the remaining 6 months still haunts me to this day.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chatter. You're that guy to them now. Like, even if they don't talk about it with each other, you have made quite an impression. I would quit that job, especially at a construction job. I just caught that part. Yeah, I don't know how familiar they are with the world of furry porn. Hey, I don't know who's on the construction sites. Hey, Peter, get a look at this otter broad. She got a big rack. She don't even need those. She's a mammal, but she don't lactate that way. Saw somebody in chat say, hey, Tony, wait, she's a dragon. She don't even got those. I want to get back to the furry porn enjoying construction guys. I think there's still some meat there. If this is a sketch show, I would get like 3 sketches of those guys. I think they're funny. I'm just saying, Tony, imagine the texture. Gotta be like ridges in there. No, Greg, it's like a cat. They got little hooks in there. You're not getting out. No, wait, it's the guy. The guy. No, Tony, the guy got the hooks. The lady's the one what does the screaming. I don't know, Greg. I would just come into it with a lover's touch. And I'm still a human in this scenario, so I'd be very gentle. This is so stupid. This is so good. Something about the construction work. I just love this. This is a great new character. Yup. Fellas, thanks for tuning in to Cringe Confessional once again. I had a great time. Did you have a great time? I hope you did. If you didn't, you're lying because you made it to the end of the video. And maybe you're just watching in the background while you do dishes or something else. But you should run to your phone right now. Pitter patter, run, and subscribe and like the video. Or else. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Let's say goodbye to Twitch chat. Thanks for watching, YouTube. See you next time. Cringe Confessional, live on twitch.tv/Coney. Maybe go to cringe.coney.gg and submit something yourself, why don't you? You better soon, because we're going to run out. We're going to run out, and you're going to be sad, because this series is going to come to an end. Like all things, time waits for no man.